All right, all right. And we are back on the stage of 2022 World Coffee and Good Spirit Championship. Dan, are we ready with the first competitor?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready to watch.
All right. Well, we need to, first of all, have a big round of applause for our judges, our wonderful judges who are going to be making their way to the stage. Woo. And as they do, we would like to welcome our first competitor of the day. Representing Poland, we have Agnieszka Rojewska. Let's hear it. Woo. Good luck, Aga.
Hello. 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 So I guess you're ready. Yes? We're all ready? Music, everything is fine. So you didn't give me a choice again. So I'm ready too. So, time. It's great to meet you here in beautiful Milan, but we were supposed to meet somewhere else, in my home country, Poland. But don't worry, nothing's lost. I'm gonna take you there today. So it will be a journey through Polish typical flavors and beverages, and we're gonna start in south of Poland, in famous Tatra Mountains, home of one of the most characteristic folk cultures in Europe. Polish Highlanders. And they will greet you with fun stories, sheep cheese, sour cabbage soup, and spice you up with mulled wine called grzaniec. And that beverage inspired me to prepare for you my coffee version of it. So for my warm cocktail, I decided to use Panama Geisha coffee from Altieri Farm that grows on altitude of 2,000 meters above sea level. And cherries, just after picking, are put into airtight tanks for 8 days. And then they are moved to solar dry for 45 days. That terroir, processing, and variety creates a flavor profile of cranberry, cherry, peach, and marzipan. And I found that flavor profile perfectly match warm cocktail, which is mulled wine. And I used 20 grams of coffee, and I added to 250 grams of hot water. And thanks to strong agitation for 45 seconds, I'm able to achieve high level of extraction, keep the flavor profile, and just intensify it with TDS around 1.5. And I'm pouring it through paper filter. And in a pot, I'm gonna warm up the other ingredients for my mulled wine, which is 20 ml of sloe gin. Sloe berry is a very typical berry from Tatra Mountains. It will add some spiciness. 20 ml of Niport Ruby Porto. This will elevate the wine characteristic of this cocktail because it has a lot of cranberry notes and tartaric acidity. 30 ml of Crème de Cassis. This will add sweetness and forest fruit flavors. 20 ml of Quinotto Nero. Quinotto Nero is a herbal and citrus zest liquor, and this highlights the citrus characteristic of coffee. And finally, 20 ml of elderberry juice. The juice has a lot of tartaric acidity and will give us nice, pleasant, winey aftertaste. And I'm also adding some spices, 1 cinnamon stick, 5 cloves, 2 star anise, and 3 grams of hibiscus tea. And as every mulled wine, this cocktail will also be served warm, in temperature of around 55 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, the acidity of coffee elevates the sweetness of gin. And will give us also nice, spicy aftertaste and aromatics. I warm everything in pot to open up the aromatics. And all together, all the ingredients will give us syrupy and round texture. Very typical for this style of cocktail. It is a type of a drink that could be enjoyed during cold winter nights at home or after a long mountain hike in Tatra Mountains. It can be batched in advance and warm up only when you feel a need for it and you want to get into this, let's say, winter mode. It will satisfy demanding customers because of its complex flavors, but also those who seek for regional treasures. And in a glass, you will find flavor notes of cinnamon, cherry, raspberry, peach, marzipan, and spicy chocolate aftertaste. So whenever you're ready, shake the snowball, feel the vibe of Tatra Mountains, and enjoy it. So our travel through Poland continues, and now we're going to go east to Białowieża National Park, to home of Polish mighty and proud bisons. And because we're approaching summer, it's getting warmer, so we're going to enjoy some summer flavors in a sour style of cocktail. And for this one, I decided to use a different coffee. This one is Colombian coffee. It is a Sudan Rume variety that comes from Café Granja La Esperanza. It was processed in a natural way and has flavor notes of red apple, cherry, and chocolate. And I found it a perfect match for my sour style of cocktail. So the base, and I use it as an espresso, of course, using 18 grams in and 30 mils out to elevate the flavors and keep the flavor profile. Base for my Bisengrass sour will be Bisengrass vodka. It's a regional product, but it's so delicious that it will become our worldwide export vodka. I'm using 40 mils of that. It will add some cinnamon and red apple note. 20 mils of sloe gin for a cherry note. 40 mils of sour apple juice. I made it by mixing 1 part of sweet apple juice to elevate the flavor note of main spirit, and 20 mils of lemon juice to highlight the sour style of cocktail, and 30 mils of elderflower syrup. Elderflower is a typical syrup for a Polish household, but I decided to use a commercial one to make this cocktail more easier to make in different parts of the world. And I'm gonna shake it with ice. Oh, and 40 grams of egg white to add creamy foam on top. And this will be shaken with ice. Shaking with ice, drop down the temperature to almost 0 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, the sweetness of syrup balance the acidity of lemon juice, resulting in a silky texture that goes down easily. Everything topped with the floral and fruity meringue-like foam on top. So the flavor experience will begin with fruity and floral aroma, continues in the first sip with the flavor notes of cherry, elderflower, and apple. It will stay with you, and the next sips, you're gonna have also chocolate and cinnamon. Thank you. So this type of cocktail should be served in the modern cocktail bars and restaurants, as it is showcasing a regional twist on an old-time classic. It is a type of cocktail that will satisfy a foodie, a person that likes to try new stuff, like new flavors. I would call that person a flavor explorer. And definitely, it can be made anywhere in the world and promote Poland because all ingredients are easily accessible. Just a touch of an old school latte art. And I hope you enjoyed a travel through Polish flavors. And I hope to show you more of it in the future. Thank you. Time.
Let's hear it for Agnieszka. Aga, congratulations.
Wow, wow, wow.
Would you like to join us whenever
No.
you're ready? No, you want to stay there? Come
I
over
need to
here.
make sure that they actually try it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I mean, I've seen you so many times on the world stage. So many times. Wow. Head
Thank you.
down.
I try.
You're an experienced competitor,
No.
you could say. How do you find preparing for this competition differs to other comps?
The practice is more difficult.
More difficult?
Yeah, well, you cannot stay focused for more than 2 drinks.
True, this is true.
Because you have to
Yeah.
try them, right?
Well, you have to. There is no other choice, of course, of course.
Yeah. So for those of you who aren't aware, Agnieszka has been the world barista champion, 4th place in world latte
Expired,
art.
expired.
Ah, still relevant, still relevant.
Yeah, yeah, 3 times in the final of latte.
Yes, exactly. So Aga's an incredibly well-rounded barista, also the Ibrick champion of Poland. So you've had 2 world championships to prepare for.
Yeah.
Have you seen any synergy between the 2? Have you applied any techniques from one to the other?
No, they are 2 different.
2 different worlds, right?
Yeah, they're exactly 2 different worlds.
That's why it's so exciting.
The only thing I took from the Ibrick is the pot.
This is what I saw.
Yeah, just because I didn't have space for like a regular pot, and I already had it. So
And plus you have your own company, the Sheep and Raven, correct?
yeah, that's a new thing. Yeah, that's
New
a new
thing coming
yeah.
on.
Yeah,
Wow.
cool new thing coming on. It's,
Busy.
Well, a little bit because I decided to start a new job 2 months ago, compete in all of that, and start also the new brand. And I'm renovating a 160-year-old house, which is a nightmare.
Why not?
Well, I think that deserves a huge round of applause.
Exactly. Let's hear it for Agnieszka. We will be back very shortly with our next competitor of the day, so stay tuned.